They found a tumor the size of a man's fist in my colon, and that's when our world changed. At this time, we had a 9.5-month-old daughter. What do? You know, we had to figure out who was taking care of her. I knew I was going to the hospital. I had no idea what for, how long. And that's when we started calling people. We knew we couldn't make these decisions on our own, so we called people we trusted, both personally and in the medical field, and everybody recommended that I have surgery at Riverside. So we went and we rushed over to the hospital, and when they came out of surgery, Scott was there, and my sister was there, and I knew I've got two sisters, and one's really emotional and one's really strong, and I knew when I saw this strong sister there that it was bad. And that's when they told us that I had cancer.
Once you hear those words of cancer, it's hard to hear much of anything after that. So from that point on was really, finding out about, what was actually going on and educating ourselves on her situation and what are the steps that we need to do from here.
Not only were we learning that I had cancer, I had stage 3, we have to do chemo, but the chemo could also make you infertile, was very, very hard to swallow. It just felt like we kept losing control. Every time we turned around, we were losing control. I mean, all I wanted was just to be a mom. That's it. And I couldn't all the time. I was sick, I was in bed and all that. And an aunt of mine came to see us, and she told us to just take it one day at a time. And she was right, because it was like, you could really go to the what ifs. I'm 28. I have a daughter. I have a husband. They need me. I can't lose this fight.
It's a whirlwind of emotions and not knowing, you had so many more questions than answers at that time, and the fear is always in the unknown.
We really dug in and started talking with doctors and making appointments and reaching out to any connection that we maybe had to get us into the doctors as soon as possible. That's when, hands down, everybody here said, you need to see Dr. Vera Panini. So we went and we saw Dr. Vera Panini, and she was great.
When I sit down with patients, I try to explain to them exactly what they've been diagnosed with, what their stage of cancer is. We also understand that being cancer survivors can really impact patients even after treatment, and it's very important for them to continue having that source of support. So I always talk to patients about the anxiety and angst that they usually suppress during the time of treatment, and that it usually comes to a head and they really need a lot more support to deal with emotions and everything later on. I want to make sure whenever they walk out the door that they have a very good understanding of everything, because if they don't, then I haven't done my job as a physician.
It's been very refreshing. I kind of anticipated maybe a doctor being like, here's the diagnosis, here's what we do, goodbye, once you're done. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want you to feel like you've been forgotten about just because chemo's done. I think a lot of people think that, okay, when you're done with chemo, the battle stops, and you're done and you're better and you move on, and that's not the case with cancer. Until you go through chemo, I don't think you understand chemo. We definitely didn't. To be able to have it here in our community hospital was such a blessing, and just kind of such a weight taken off. We were able to just come here, be treated, and go home and be in my bed and be able to see my little girl, not have to bring her anywhere. Scott was able to be with me at treatments and still be at work at the same day. I definitely didn't know that we had this available to us, and it was remarkable. I mean, the staff there, the nurses, they were great. And to be able to just come here, have my treatments, and drive 5 minutes and be home, not have to fight traffic, not have to find parking. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Being comfortable with that, was really our number one priority.
This community and our family and friends, I mean, we cannot thank enough. Our best friends called us, and they said, we just want to tell you about something. They said, we went on and we got some bracelets made. And it was like, what do you mean? And they said, we got these bracelets. It says, no one fights alone. And when they told us over the phone what they had done, they had bought some for everybody and had sent some to all of our family, all of our friends, and everybody was going to wear this bracelet for us. I mean, it was just the simplest thing, but I mean, I look down at it every day. I still haven't taken it off. We never take it off. Scott's got his, I've got mine, everybody's got theirs. And it just means so much to know you're not going through this alone.
I've been incredibly impressed with what Riverside has done so far, and every day I come to work, I continue to be really impressed with what they're vision is. The important message should not be lost that screening does save lives.
You know, you always try to figure out what's the silver lining, what good can come from this, and we know that is our mission, is to get awareness out there that yes, it can happen to anybody at any age with any health circumstances, you know, and there's people here to help us through it continually. I just don't think I would have had that kind of family feeling had I gone somewhere else.